Thank you for some of the comment and support. Today I'm going live because I didn't prepare, but I think taking time to do videos, it takes too much time, too much time to make video, edit, come back and everything. And life is kind of more faster for me and better. But the problem is the life is like if you do something, if you say something wrong, then you cannot remove it, you cannot erase it. But anyway, so today is a discussion about a little bit of mostly about Africa because I'm Africans. I'll talk about Europe, the laws and immigration and the politics and so on. Okay, I don't know if you read that in Europe, I think in Germany, they are starting to close the door to immigration. They're making immigration more difficult and more difficult to enter in Germany. And what I read is they might be leaving the European Union. If I'm wrong, you can always correct me on that, but I think I read it somewhere, I heard it somewhere. But also, France is making more and more laws, which is not surprising to make, especially Africans, because you know that when they make all these laws making more difficult, is always about the situation of Africans, and also the fact that many Africans are entering Europe illegally. And you also have, I think, British, England, I think if I'm not wrong, who is who is making a decision to now deport illegals from England to make them go to, I think, I don't know if it was Boris Johnson or who, Rishi Sunak, what is his name? The Prime Minister, the former Prime Minister of British. I don't remember, but it looks like what I remember reading is like they ask Rwanda to welcome illegal immigrants, especially, I mean, Africans and immigrants illegal to go to Rwanda, where they can have another life, can start something to start a new life in Rwanda. And I think Rwanda has accepted this deal, and I think Germany want to join this program to send illegals there to Rwanda. It's interesting, you can see that more and more countries in Europe don't want to deal with this flux, this massive coming of illegal Africans and so on. What is kind of a little bit sad is when you hear some Africans saying that, oh, you know what, they deserve it. They deserve to have us coming anyhow, okay? Us coming anyhow to to their countries. I don't know what is proud, okay, to say that you enter in a country, like, I mean, there's no problem on that. I understand that people have enough, but saying that this country deserves to have African immigrants there illegally and making the mess, sometimes legally also, because it's the way they behave in Europe, even in America, but usually in Europe, the way they behave by putting mess. Last time I showed a video, I don't know if I showed the video of a place in Paris. When you go to, there is a neighborhood in Paris that is completely messed up. If you go there, even in Belgium, these places, okay, Africans have been doing stuff there, dirty, messy place. You can't even think that you are in Paris. You can't even think you are in Brussels, in Belgium, because the thing they do, they go sell anywhere. They messed up the places, and they think that it's okay for them to do that. I don't know, how do you feel like it makes sense to you that you want to have respect from these countries and you feel like it's okay to mess up their place. I don't know, maybe because, maybe I'm wrong, but this generation that we are now today, we don't think that much anymore. In order to be heard, okay, it's not about doing the mess in their cities. It's not about spitting pee everywhere and dropping stuff anywhere, and you think you will get respect from them. I don't think so. If you feel like their politics, okay, and which is true, are very negative for our continent, it's not the way to make yourself be understood. That's not the way to do stuff. And I do not agree with people who say, yeah, they deserve it. Because the politicians, they don't live, they don't go through that. It's the people of these countries, the French, the Belgium, I don't know how you call it, they call them in French, in English, in England as well. You see that the people have enough. The people in general, because we like to say, oh, we are victim of racism, 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 racism. It's okay. You are right to say racism, but I think it's hypocrite in a way to complain about racism and being in their countries and benefit from their help, benefit from social help of these countries, and always call for racism. Okay? If you talk about racism, then stay in your country in Africa. Period. Don't take the ship, okay, the broken ship, die in the sea to go to Europe. If you feel like you are a victim of racism that much and you cannot stand them at all, then stay in your country in Africa. And if you want to resist the politics that they are doing, which is actually, I agree, the politics are bad for us, then stay in Africa. Don't make noise, okay? Open your big mouth. They're in Europe, they're in America, when some of Africans that we are supporting, in a way, the dictatorial system that we have in our own countries. It makes no sense for me. If you are angry about what they did in the history, it's not after the people who live there. You cannot go after these people because the people are good people. Because we know how we are. Okay? We know this is, for me, it's more and more hypocrite to talk about racism and stay in their countries and benefit from all the help. Okay, you will say, yeah, this help comes from our countries. Is that the way you want to resist a system? Is it the way you want to resist a system? That doesn't make any sense to me. For me, it's just nonsense. Okay? The other generation, they were going to school, they were learning, they were studying, and they could talk to them the same level. Messing up place in their place, breaking stuff and doing that don't give us respect that we deserve. And I think it's very hypocrite to talk about racism when we live there quietly and eating and benefit from the thing they have. Okay, so when we talk about racism, something that I don't talk a lot about racism. Why? I do not say that racism is not real because, yeah, it has been proven recently that racism is a mental sickness. They talk about, I think the psychology now have agreed, which I don't know why they took so long to accept that racism is a mental sickness. People who are racist have problem. But I don't say that racism doesn't exist, but I'm just tired of people who see racism everywhere. And sometimes it has nothing to do with racism. You can have people who are disrespectful naturally because you don't know what the background is in your family, in your country, in your race, even in your people that you know. There are people who are disrespectful and there are people who are nice. So why don't you apply the same thing when it comes to race? If you want to talk about race, how are we as black people to black people? How are we African to Africans? It's fake. We are fake. We are hypocrite. I give an example. White people are not that bad. I mean, the thing that we want to talk, we can complain, is their politics. And I understand that. But they don't apply this politics on their own. They are supported by the Muppet we have in power. If we want to stop that politics, then get rid of these people. But we are the same people who are okay with nepotism, who are okay with corruption, who are okay with this system in our own countries in Africa. So it's hypocrite. It's fake in a way. I think it's fake. If we don't like it, then we go to the thing that we get rid of the Muppet first, and then you know what I mean. But talking about racism every time is fake in a way. Why? Because when we see black people themselves, me, I've seen my life. When I was in Utah, just an example to name it that I saw personally, a white couple. When I talk about white people, I talk about people who are stable, mentally stable, educated. Good morning, how are you? Good morning. People who are educated. I talk about this kind of white people. I don't talk about white people who have no background or whatever. Okay? I talk about these people. I've seen that when white people adopt an African child, I see it. They will take care of the child as if it was their own child. They will take care. I saw how they take care of these children as if it was their own child. I see like when white people, they take a child, an African child, a black African child, when they like the child and they're stable and educated people, when these white people take these children, they really love these children and they will take care of them more than the black African families. I've seen like when you black, I've talked about that in my previous video. When a black African gives a child to another black African, they say, oh, I cannot take care of my child. Can you take care of my child? You will see how the black African will enslave. We enslave that child. And the child will be responsible for all the chores in the house. You will see that that child might not be going to school. But when the white family take the same child, he will take care of the child like it was his own. So why do you want me to talk about racism? For what? It's hypocrite. There are good people everywhere, and there are bad people everywhere. We have to stop being the victim every time. It's fake. There is a story I want to share with you. And sorry I lost my voice because I am sick. When I was young, and I talk about it in my previous video, I studied in another African country in high school year. That high school year, I went to another African country. I was sent to a dormitory of girls. Okay, dormitory of girls was a Catholic institution. So, you know, it's kind of strict, but it's Catholic institution. Then we have nuns who are African, of course, taking care of us. But God knows how these ladies were taking care of us. Sometimes you will be sick, but really sick. You go ask for medication. They had medication in their cupboard, I don't know how to say it, closet, cupboard, cabinet, and cupboard. They had, because the church, the cathedral where they usually have people giving donation, so they have many. Even when you see the lifestyle of this nun, they were eating very good. They were taking care very good. But for us who were in the dormitory of the girl, I remember that very much. You go to ask for medication. I remember one day I was so sick. I say, we call her my mother. That's how we call them at the time. And you ask for medication. They will say, I'm sorry, I don't have any medication. I mean, I have nothing. You have to take, you can have some fruits here. It's going to help you. You have vitamin C. That's people who are serving God, nuns who are serving God, who are treating us like that. What we were eating, only God knows. Our parents were paying because most of us were international. Well, half of us were international students, okay? But, international student is good business anyway. But the food, we were paying for the services that they promised to our parents, okay? I'm talking to African. They promised our parents that this is going to be breakfast, lunch and dinner, food in the dormitory, okay? We pay for that. We pay for the service. And this nun, in the morning, we never saw breakfast. Only on Saturday and Sunday, and what type of breakfast. The cheapest breakfast I've never heard. And these are Africans to African, the way we're treating. They are nuns, religious nuns, treating young African students like that. And our parents were paying for that service. Okay, so when we talk about racism, please start looking on our own, So the food we were eating in that dormitory, I mean, God knows. I don't know, I don't have all the word in English, but there is a type of insect that you find in food, in grains and stuff like that. They were cooking with the insects, okay? And they were giving us that food to eat. We were eating literally dirty food for service that we pay, our parents pay. And I remember that some of us were coming from other countries, from Central Africa, other from West Africa, okay? And some of us were coming from countries that, because that year, Congo, Brazzaville entered into a very political instability. I'm not from Congo, but we knew because we knew we were in Africa. We knew what was happening. I mean, if you live in Africa, you don't know what happened, then you are probably disconnected from the world. Okay? We knew what was happening. We knew, and the same period of the time, there was almost the same period of time, like some in the 90s, that it was, Africa was shaken. You had the genocide. The genocide in Rwanda was happening. We have students from Rwanda coming also. It was, okay? And you have students from Cameroon and those from Ivory Coast and those from Togo. Hello, how are you? Hello from, hi Anna, how are you? Those from Togo. Because at the time in Togo, there was Eyadema father, who was also another one. We had these people in power. So we were talking to each other. We knew what was happening in Africa. I mean, we knew there was war there was war. There was genocide in Rwanda. There was a problem in Brazzaville. I think at the time it was at the time the situation of oil. It's always something about oil, the gold, the black gold at the time. For us, we were going into a very political turmoil in my country. Africa was shaking there and there. That's why when I hear people say, fix your country, I'm shocked because people have been trying so much to fix because they realize that it's not easy to fix a country. We have many military putsch in Africa. Ask our brothers from West Africa, they will tell you, military putsch after military putsch. Military putsch is not new in Africa. We know military putsch in Africa. But what happened? Why is not changing? Because they saw that it's not easy. The situation is more complicated than that. But back to what I was saying. In that dormitory, we were eating. They knew our parents wanted to drop us there. They knew when we were dropped there that our countries were not safe. And that's why they sent us to this Catholic institution. But they took advantage of the situation because our parents couldn't call every time. We knew the situation. But what really marked me, there was a girl. There was a girl in the dormitory. Okay, I will talk about her a little later. It's sad, and I will show you that when you talk about racism, please, okay, we slow down on that. We were in a dormitory, paying the service, but living a life. The place was beautiful, but the system was awful. There was the first floor of the building. The first floor, we were kind of forbidden to enter the first floor. But I saw that there were students, because we are only girls, it's Catholic. There were girls who were entering the first floor, but that door was often locked. Our door upstairs, the second, the third, the fourth floor, we were there, the door were open, there were international students, there were national students there. But the first floor was very special. It was always locked in a way. When people were entering, it's like fast and entering. And one day I accidentally tried to open because I missed, I don't know what happened. And then I want to open the door, and one of the nuns I think the mother herself, the mother, the mom's nun, she said, "Oh, don't go there, don't go there." She, in a way, like, I have nothing to go there. That's really always my suspicion. That, I mean, I see some children going there. Why we cannot? Because sometimes you could go to the second floor, see the other girls. The third, me, I was on the third floor. One day I stay and I sit on the stairs because I want to know what happened there. And I was waiting to see a student coming out of this door, this first floor. One student left, she opened, and then she left out of it, and she forgot to lock. So at that moment, I entered. I mean, when she left, I knew it was open. So I opened the door of that first floor. Guess what I saw? There were bedroom of students, but it was like a refugee camp. Yeah, like a refugee camp. They were from poor families. They packed them in the first floor. There were probably six, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 8 each room. For us upstairs, we were 3 or 2 or 3. For them, because they were from poor families, they packed them there. It looked like a refugee camp. I was shocked. And these are religious figures. These are religious nuns who are doing that. And they receive donation, where the money was going. And we were paying, as international students, we were paying double than the nationals, where the money was going. We couldn't eat properly. We didn't have breakfast. They were saving on the water. It was horrible. The time I left there, it was horrible. So one of the superior, people who are supervising, she saw me on the wall because I was looking. And she told me, "What are you doing here?" I was surprised. Then I had to lie that someone sent me, I was looking to. And at that moment, there was one of the girls that I often saw downstairs, was sometimes saying hi to her. She told me, "Oh, you're here? You want to visit me? Oh, that's nice." Actually, I wasn't coming to visit her. I was just there because I was sneaking around. And I said, yeah, I came to see her. I enter the bedroom. You feel poverty. And they were left there like a refugee camp. There was one of the girls I want to talk about. She was sitting there. That girl, I saw that many times she had trouble speaking. And then I was just curious. I asked her, "Tell me, what's..." She was making sounds. She was not speaking. Then I asked her, she told me, no, she doesn't speak. I say, yeah, but I think it looks like she tried to speak. She said, no, she has some issue. She has a problem. No, she's okay. That's it. So when I left the floor. I start to see that thing when I felt in the dormitory. Later on, I observed the movement, the activity now. I saw it differently, because why hiding this? I mean, you know what I mean? Then one day I saw these girls of that first floor going behind the building. I said, what's going on there? So I start to look like I was busy looking to take water, but I wasn't taking water because I was trying to know where they were going, why they were going in the building behind, and we were not allowed to go there. Again, I try to follow, just because I'm curious, I'm very curious. I need to know. And I went there. When I went there, there were a group of girls cooking. They were cooking for the entire dormitory. They were cooking for us. But because they were poor, the institution were using them as labor, free labor in a way. These are African, these are black African. So I went out, just because I was shocked, I was like, what is this? They were all cooking big pot of food, And they were the one, I realized that they were the one who was serving us at the dining room of the dormitory. They were the ones serving us. And that food, when I saw the quantity of food, big bag notes, you could see the cheapest food ever, full of insect inside. They were cooking that because they were tired. They cook it the way it was dirty and this, and they were serving the food to us. Sometimes they will be sitting somewhere in the corner of the dining room. You see, black people, we have this easy way to enslave. We have this easy way to enslave, to use people as labor, free labor. We like it. And we complain about, oh, white people do that, do that. We are hypocrite. I'm telling you, we are fake. That's why I don't talk about racism. I don't. Because it's worse. Because white people, they have limits. If you go to hospital, how people take care of you in hospital in Africa? Oh, wait. Even when you are sick, oh, wait, I don't have. They take the phone, they talk. You see that with white people, they cannot do that because they know they will be sued. They are more human sometimes than us. I'm sorry to say that. So that later on, I saw one student who told me, well, you're saying, no, did you know that there are students who are working for us, who are cooking for us? The girl from the first floor, she told me, oh, yeah, I know, yeah, but they just go. I said, did you know that? She said, yeah, I mean, they always do that. And I say, what about the girl who doesn't speak well? What is wrong with her? She told me she's traumatized. I say, what happened to her? Okay, I will try to be the girl, I won't say her name here. I will give her another name, just call her Leah. What happened to Leah? And she said, because Leah was my age. So I don't know how she couldn't. It looks like she couldn't speak at all. So she told me Leah is from that country, okay? That country, okay, I will just give you a little detail, you know which country it was. In Africa, East Central Africa, that country is East Central Africa. There was a war there, there was a genocide there, and they were killing people there. So you understand which country I talk about, okay? That country now today is beautiful and many people are going there. But at the time, in the 90s, what happened there? We know. She was coming from there. So she saw the atrocity of the war. That girl saw the atrocity of the genocide. But she was given to the nuns. Now, who took that girl to the nun? Now listen to the story. That girl saw the war. She was at the war. Who saved that girl? A white woman, a journalist. I don't know if she was a reporter or an independent journalist. I don't know. According to what the girl told me, the story. She saved that girl. She hid that girl. Because the situation was like, that ethnic group were killed by the other ethnic group. So if you were hiding, it was not only that journalist was making her life in danger, and the little girl as well, because for sure, if they were seeing her, they would cut her. But she was, that journalist, a white woman. She hid that girl. She protected that girl. And she didn't know what to do. She said, I told that girl, protect her. Because she saw the atrocities. She saw the atrocity of the war. I'm telling you, I didn't know that war could make you lose the capacity of speaking. I didn't know that war could traumatize to the point that you could lose your ability to speak. I didn't know that. The only time I read stuff, I know that people can say stuff, but it's serious. I read an article of a journalist, and independent journalist, who said that he went to, I think it was in Zimbabwe during the war. He saw a woman who was half sitting, eye open, but she was dead because she saw the atrocity. That girl saw the atrocity of the war in her country. And that white journalist, that white woman who took her life in danger because she could also be killed for what she was doing, she protected this girl. She took her to far away to another West African country, and she dropped her to the Catholic institution there. And she said, protect that girl. What more do you ask? You want people to show more than what? This is love. Making your life in danger. Protecting a black child that you don't even know. You bring it to another African country. And what do? Instead of doing therapy to the girl, trying to be there because that girl saw atrocities. I'm sure that she probably had some nightmare. No. You use her for chores. You use her to clean. That's what Africans did. And you want me to talk about racism? I'm sorry. I can't. Because some people, if you talk about racism, then you have to accept that you at least know that there are people who are good in other ways. We have to stop this nonsense. That girl who was traumatized was given to black African in West Africa in a religious institution where you can feel like maybe they have the fear of God. They took her. The white journalists who protect her dropped her because she couldn't take her to Europe with her. Instead of making sure that the girl, maybe she had nightmare. No, you just use her for chores, cleaning, cooking. And you want me to denounce racism every time? I don't know. It makes sense to you. Africa, I think we are the same Africans who talk about racism. You see how we are. I cannot stand this ethnic group. I cannot stand this country. I cannot stand this. We are fake. And white people, they see, they know how we are. They know we are fake. In the same country, black African can even support probably the leader is maybe a ruthless dictator, but because they are from the same ethnic group, they will never say that. So everybody have to pay for that. And you want to blame Europe every time. At some point, you have to stop it. Last time, someone sent me a video of a hospital, even my own country, oil producer country. You can't even provide decent hospital to people. I don't know what to say. And you want to talk about racism. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Even God in heaven will say, you are fake. How can I help you? You go to hospital in Africa. How are you treated? You come with the pain. My own country, I thought people were lying when people were saying that women give birth on the floor. I thought it was a lie until I went to see my own self with my eyes. Yeah, there were some women giving birth on the floor in a oil producer country. And you want me to talk about racism? It's being fake. I went to the hospital. I had my son. I almost lost my life. Because, first of all, the lack of water. A country where the rain is raining every time. You say there is no rain. These Africans who are complaining sometimes about racism, they live in Europe. Some of them talking, but they are okay with the system of those in power who are enslaving the people. You see that people, you think that they are okay? You think they are okay in their head? You think people like that are okay? I mean, I don't know. You are the same people who are accusing European of this. Okay. Their political rules are bad. But the same people, you see in that country, they are supporting a dictatorial system because sometimes it's the same ethnic group. Sometimes because they have the same advantage. They have good advantage from this system, this government. And they don't care. I cannot talk about racism. No. You go to the airport, see how they treat you at the airport. Wow, you coming from? You are here, you come, you are tired, you want to sleep. You enter the borders at the airport. They will make you ask questions, or they will. The mindset. We need a reprogrammation. No, we need a deprogrammation for a reprogrammation of the mind. Because African people, we have this excellent way to have a selection. We selection, I don't know, we select our memories. Because the same African, when they fly over, when I was young, I didn't know my country has problem, but I was traveling often. But I didn't see that there was a problem in my country. I was flying every day. I'm telling you, the allegory of the cave of Plateau is real. There are people that live in cave in their head. They don't realize that their head is completely, okay? So I was traveling often, I didn't see the problem, that there was a problem. You see above with the flight, you see that the city is not well done. There are problems, but we are okay. The day I realized that, I thought I was talking about it, but I didn't. I thought, oh, he talks too much. The day I realized that he was right, I was in that country in high school. No, not in my country, but that country, the African country. And he was talking about the political decentralization, because in Africa, we have problem of decentralized thing. Everything is centralized in the capital city. Most of the time, like countries like mine, everything is centralized in the country. That means that people from the villages, people from the other town, because they don't have the normal basic need, they do what? They come to the city. And what happened? These people are not trained to know how to live in cities. They're not trained to live in town. What do? When they come like that, they mess up the city. And imagine the same people who have not been educated to live in city, in town. When they go to Europe, when they go to America, same behavior. So we complain, and we don't want these people to complain that you are sending us people that don't even know how to live in town. But anyway, this is just like, so I didn't know there was a problem. Until the class, the teacher was talking about the decentralization and such. It was in high school. We're talking about geography. And then I said, oh, Libreville is a beautiful capital city. They start laughing. I was humiliated. He told me, do you really think your city is a beautiful capital city? I said, yes, Libreville is beautiful. The man opened the map. He showed me Libreville. Now he showed me another city of Africa, how it was organized. He said, Miss Mayo, there is two things, okay? What you build, how you build is different. When the city is organized, even if the roads are not, you don't have put the, I don't know how you say that in English, it's different. But when we look above the map, your city looks like nothing. Everything is stuck like that. Now, when you put the city next to your city, now tell me if your city is a real city. I closed my mouth. I was ashamed. And this is an oil producer country. I closed my mouth. So my eyes was open when I went back home. Now from the plane, my eyes was open. I look around, I say, yeah. So where the money is going? Where the money is going. We go to blame the other countries, but it's the white people forbid you to do the minimum, to train people to do the right thing. You go to hospital, women giving birth to on the floor. It's a fact. It's a fact in my country, in some countries in Africa. It's true. Even in 2024, I'm talking situation like that happen. And you have cases of women who give birth who are blocked at the hospital because they cannot pay the bill. Locked at the hospital for months, sometimes for years. I don't understand. The same continent, which is the richest continent in the world, look how we live. And we talk about racism every day. We have to be honest with ourselves. Last time, I watched a movie of Albert Schweitzer. For those who know, I don't know if you know Albert Schweitzer. Albert Schweitzer, he got a Nobel Peace Prize, something like that. Albert Schweitzer, I think he was from Alsace. Alsace was a region, a region of area of France or Germany. Sometimes they say he was German, sometimes they say he was French, because actually, if you remember during the war, World War One, remember one of the things that was the reason of the war between Germany and France was this territory, Lorraine and Alsace, okay? And he was from Alsace. So sometimes there was a time where they became, I think, German, and then there was sometimes they became French after the treaties, and so it's a little bit complicated to explain, but he was from this area. Albert Schweitzer left at the time, I don't know which, it was a long time ago when Africa was, my country, Africa in general, we were in this type of post-colonial, I think, and you understand that coming out of a place, because the Central African Equatorial, we were a colony of exploitation, meaning that it wasn't like Algeria or Senegal, for example, West Africa, because what? The French like places like Senegal, Algeria, where they were spending good time, so they will invest, they will make the city look good and such. But well, we have to stop the live very soon. But the thing is, when, for us, they didn't build our area. If you look what we call Afrique Équatoriale Française, the way the French did, it was awful because it was just exporting. So they didn't build that much. They did some structure, but not that much. Like when you go to Senegal, you can tell that there were white people who were living there for a long time during the time of colonial. And then when you go to Algeria, you can see how they built in a way. And you understand that when Algeria kicked out the French, how the French were angry because they lost Algeria. People, if you know the Algeria war, anyway, it's a long story. So that part wasn't really built. So it looks like forest. Okay, let's be honest, it looks like forest most of the time. And Schweitzer, he came, he left everything in Europe, okay? He left everything. He took his fund, his money, everything that he had. He took, because Schweitzer was he was in science, but he was a doctor as well, and he was a pianist, he did piano a lot. So when Schweitzer left Europe, he went to a little town in my country, a little place in my country called Lambaréné. Okay, he's known for that. And he came, he didn't stay in Libreville, he came inside this little area and he built a hospital that is still standing today, okay, with his farm, Dr. Schweitzer. So Dr. Schweitzer built a little laboratory and a hospital, the hospital Albert Schweitzer. And he was taking care of the people, the population who was sick, but especially those who have lepra. You say lepra, this thing that people have, and then they were usually rejected from their family because people could not live with them. Dr. Schweitzer had a specific thing for that in his research and he was taking care of that. These families, these people were having space to live in the hospital, the area of the hospital of Dr. Schweitzer, okay? And everything was funded by who? Dr. Schweitzer himself. Listen to me, okay? Schweitzer was doing that. And he was providing care for them for free. I think it was for free. If it wasn't for free, probably he would have a little bit of help. But I don't think the government might did something on that. I don't think so. Schweitzer was giving most of these things for free, the care for free for this population of Lambaréné. If you look Lambaréné today, it's still not really special. We are in 2024. Go look Lambaréné, you're like, whoa. That's what the government does in Africa, okay? They don't build anything. Nothing. You are left there. That's why I was talking about the politic of decentralization, because everything is centralized in town. Anyway, so Schweitzer was providing all this care. If you ask to people, most of the people in my country, those who are there, who is that person? Oh, the racist man, the racist doctor, the racist white man. That's how they will tell about Schweitzer. And I think maybe Schweitzer was racist, like they say. But can you pass the fact that someone has left Europe, took his own funds, his own money to build a hospital, a little laboratory in there, every night and day, working. Dr. Schweitzer, he lived in, I talk about equatorial area where we talk about malaria. You could die for that. That white man was doing that every day, was working there. The only memory, most of the memory that we tell you first, he was racist. That is how we are. But now you ask to some people, okay, he was racist. But your own government, what the government has done for you? Nothing. So the white man, so the sin he was, because he was white, that was his sin. Because he was white, he came. I mean, yeah, they didn't ask him for help, but he was humanitarian. He was humanitarian. He decided to come to Lambaréné. He did what he did. Today, the hospital Albert Schweitzer is still standing. Little laboratory, and the population of Lambaréné is still going to Hospital Schweitzer. You know who founded this hospital? His children. But no, this is nothing. He's still a racist. Anyway, you tell me what you think. Maybe I'm wrong, but this situation of, I mean, I always say we have to differentiate the politics and the people. Until we understand that the politics has nothing to do with the people, okay? We have to change the way we view stuff sometimes. Oh, they deserve it. Okay, you deserve to break the stuff around. But what more do you bring? You blow your image. Okay? Everything is racism. Everything. That's why I cannot let people who talk about racism every time. It's not possible. I cannot. Because I know that in every race you have bad and good people. I know in my own race people hate each other. So why could I talk about someone who talk about racism, or people who are always complaining about, I don't know. No, we have to elevate our mindset. This is not possible. The fight is not in the flesh. The fight is not the race. The fight is the devil and the system that is killing each other. We are all fighting the same system. In the case of Africa, we have this system that this little group is controlling, have done us. You will see that when you travel and you talk to people, you will see that these people are living sometimes the same situation. It's just because they come from another race. But we are all fighting the same fight. We are struggling all. But the devil makes you feel like it's a bad race when there are good people in other ways. And for us, like people, we don't think about the future. We think about the now. That's why our fight cannot stand. The moment a leader is dead, it's over. The fight is over. You have to wait for another leader to come, maybe to push It's just sad. It's just that. And that's what I want to say. You tell me what you think about it. If I'm wrong, but I will never, in my channel, probably I will meet a racist. If I meet a racist, what am I going to care about someone who's mentally sick? Really? I'm going to take time to, it's like talking about someone who has bipolarity or schizophrenia. I will take time to talk about, no, it's a situation. It's a mental condition. So psychology have proven that now that racism is a mental condition. If they don't agree on that, it's their own business. But racism, you are also black people who are racist. Okay? And the last thing I want to close here, I want to close with this something that I noticed. I was watching, when I go to social media, I don't go for fun or entertainment. Usually, I can go to have my good day. But I go to look what people do, now the society we are living in. And there is something that I noticed. I saw different cities in South America, in South America, Central America, in the islands, in Africa. And I saw that most of these places, most of the places where black people are, Africa, for example, the black people are poor. You go to the island in America, the black people are poor. You go to South America, you look Brazil, Colombia, where black people are, where black people live in general, always poverty. And I'm like, say, why is it that everywhere that we are, there is always poverty? I look Cuba, I saw women working, and the trash there, you see poverty, black women. I say, what's wrong? Is it the only ways we're always living in poverty? What is it now? What is it with black people? Why are we living in poverty every time? That's why people will never. The truth is what? We are a poor community. That's why our mouth, everything we can complain about, we have no words. The Bible says that the poor, even if he's wise, even if he has wisdom, people will not listen to him because of poverty. My grandfather used to say, my grandfather on my mother's side used to say, if people call you type of name, you don't care. Just don't care, ignore them. But the moment someone calls you poor, get angry. Because being called poor is the worst insult that someone will tell you. We have to wake up. We have to stop this hypocrisy, because the truth is, we African, we black people, we are not united at all. I remember my first year I went to Washington, D.C. You saw some African, even you go to Europe, you saw African, they are sitting there, they see you, we see each other. They pretend that they didn't see you because they are in Washington, D.C., because they are in Europe. Because you are sitting, and this, it shows how poor mindset we have. Forgetting that solidarity is our only strength. You have an African, you see he's African. There is no doubt he's African like you, but he will ignore you when he is abroad. You don't see comments sometimes they say, oh, we are not crooks like you from this country. We are the African who are better than the other African. That's the kind of comment African people have. Please, it has to change. We have to change the way we think. We are not okay. We are not okay. There is a lot of, I don't think Africa will change now. It has to be a complete generation to change this continent. Our mentality is messed up. It's messed up. People are struggling now, but that generation will not see a different Africa. The other generation. But it has to be, we have to educate them. Let them go to school, read books, educate them every time. Let them love the continent, and so on and so on. That's all I have to say. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.